Guys, welcome. We are so proud to be in Louisiana where we're pre-recording the Bread of Life Ministries radio program, WBNL, aired to AM and FM from the tri-state areas, Boonville, Indiana, your hometown station, and also streaming. And we also come to you live on Facebook too. We are so honored and proud to have the wonderful Keith and lovely wife Bonnie over here with us, Lori. And we want to let you guys know that it has been an overwhelming public church. It was always so moving when I come down here, and this radio program's been on the air since 1970 with our father.
Oh, wow.
And it's sponsored by Town Square Furnishing for all your furnishing needs in Boonville. But today was so emotional and so moving, and the laying on hands and praying, and this is the way we were brought up, and most of you people out there watching, and we want to welcome, pre-welcome Japan and actually Ireland tuned in today.
Oh, Ireland.
Cowboy Church. So we had several countries involved, and we say hi to Steve in Japan. But we want to hear a little bit about your story and about who's Keith Burns and what does God mean to you? I mean, just something about, tell us about it.
Well, you know, about 3 or 4 weeks before I met my wife Bonnie here, which has been about 5 years ago, I've always been a spiritual man. I've always been a very good guy. Tried to live that. My life has always been treat people as you want to be treated kind of guy. But never really, my grandfather was the most devout Christian man I've ever known. Couldn't get through a blessing without crying. So he'd be proud of me right now. But about 3 weeks before I met my wife, I just got on my knees and I said, you know, God, I need to figure out something. And the basic thing that I was told through his guidance and just through his light was put God first, above everything, above me.
That is hard to do.
Yeah, it is, but not anymore. I mean, it's literally put God first, ask Him before me, before my parents, before my children, before my wife, before anybody. Number one is God. And you've got to do that. And when you do that, things that's not the end all of end all. It's not going to solve every problem you have. But it will certainly help you get through the problems that you have when you put Him first.
I love it too when Deborah says on her Saturday show, she says on Faces of Agency, lessons and blessings.
Yeah.
So you have hard times with lessons, but there's a blessing behind it.
Oh, every time.
Every time.
Every time. So,
and so it's been very moving. It's been a moving time. Can you play us a couple of your little tunes that you got?
Well, I got a brand new one that I'm going in and cutting. My buddy Ray Scott in Nashville, he owns one of our publishing companies together, him and I. And we write a bunch, and he is a born-again Christian and deep in the faith. Probably one of the most Christian men I know right now. I mean, daily. He's always sending stuff out there. So him and I wrote 2 or 3 things. We were down in Tampa. I flew down there, and we were supposed to come back on the tour bus, and we ended up staying in a Walmart parking lot. And we woke up the next morning, and I'm just sitting out there drinking coffee and watching this homeless guy walk by with his cart full of his whole life was in this cart.
Was it our father?
And he, he
like Walmart carts.
Who knows? It could have been Jesus for all I know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be because the way he looked at me and looked at the bus, because it's obviously it's a $500,000 bus, and he just looks at me and goes, thumbs up, and keeps walking. Didn't ask for nothing. So I went back in and I go, Ray, dude, we got to write this song, man. Just how blessed are we? Just how blessed can one man be to have what we have and not really care that we have it? It doesn't matter. We're just blessed that we have it. So what? And so we sat down in a Walmart parking lot right outside of Tampa, Florida. And I'll do you like a version, of course. Just how blessed can one man be when time stands still for all eternity, when a day like this shines down on me, just how blessed can one man be? Here I am sitting underneath pine trees, listening to the whistling wind sing a song for me. Here comes the sun, now we're all one in perfect harmony. Yeah, Lord, I got everything I need. Just how blessed can one man be, when time stands still for all eternity, when a day like this shines down on me, just how blessed can one man be?
Oh, that is awesome. It's true. When I moved to Nashville, I lived in a tent. And I thought I was blessed because I had something over my head.
You didn't live in a van by the river?
No, I lived at the KOA. It was $8 a night.
There you go.
In a tent.
I lived in a van down by the river night. I was very lucky. I moved to Nashville from Atlanta and already had a job with Joe Diffie. So I was lucky. Yeah, I was very. You know, I saw something the other day. This girl
Did the
was.
7-year rule.
Oh yeah.
7 years.
If I don't do something in 7
Yeah.
years, I moved up there and I already had it going on, so I was very, very lucky. I saw something the other day on YouTube. It was like liberals on TikTok, and a girl was talking about blessed, and she was going off on people that post, "I'm blessed." She goes, "You're not blessed. You're just lucky, or you're just fortunate, or you're not blessed. God didn't bless you because you're bad." And I go, "No, you know what? I got to disagree with that. You know, you're blessed."
There was a song, "Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Roof up above me, good place to sleep."
It doesn't matter how hard we work or I work. I never feel like, okay, I work this hard to get here, to do this, to do that. I still feel blessed. So I mean, so for people that don't think you're blessed, or oh, you're entitled because you think you're blessed. No, I'm blessed. I'm a blessed man. God has blessed me for reasons. I don't know why sometimes. I don't necessarily understand why He's picked me to do this or that, but I still feel right now the reason I'm still alive and kicking and rolling and doing what I do, God has something left for me.
No.
I really feel that. I just feel like bigger than Joe Diffie, than Trick Pony, than writing songs. I think God has a bigger plan for me. I've always thought
He
that.
does, and you will not leave this earth until. I've had people say, "I just want to die. I don't know why God doesn't kill me. I don't know why I can't just die." And I'm like, He's not done with you.
No.
If He was done with you, you would be dead.
Yeah.
So, you've got to keep that faith that there is something bigger and a plan bigger. My sister was told when she was so small and so ill, Mom took her to a faith healer, and the lady said, "There is a bigger plan for this little girl."
Well, I would hope so.
And the Bread of Life became that part of that big plan.
Y'all do so much good stuff.
Yeah, and you're coming back for the golf scramble, right?
When is that?
September.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. You got to tell Bonnie
And we'll get it all straightened out. We
make
got
sure
some
you
special
block-
surprises, and we've got a special place for the concert. this
make sure
year.
you block it,
So,
because
no,
I don't know, because if I book it, then I love Bread of Life Ministries.
You guys have done so much. For
well,
us.
and y'all for us. I mean, we got to come down here to Louisiana, to the parish down here, and I mean the sheriff. I mean, y'all above and beyond what y'all originally said was. It started with a bunch of boxes of Legos, and then it went from that to like 14 17 pallets
Were
of
you
stuff.
unloading? I know we loaded, but we didn't unload.
No, I was busy riding a Harley up and down the street while everybody loaded, but it was fantastic, and I was like going, and John and Alicia, and I know they came up, and they were just thinking, okay, 3 or 4 pallets and stuff, well, you know, and then boom, they brought their tour bus, their 18-wheeler, semi, and y'all filled it.
We did.
You couldn't get another thing in there, so yeah,
We were blessed.
y'all went overboard. Y'all gonna do it again this year?
Sure.
Sure. Well, the one thing about Louisiana is there's always need.
There's need everywhere.
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 But southern Louisiana, it just seems like the weather, the last few years, the hurricanes, the flooding down here, and you know, that's why everything, you notice when you ride around Louisiana, southern Louisiana in particular, you always see every house on stilts.
We were commenting about that, Stilts in the Brink of Life.
Everything's off the ground. Yeah, everything's off the ground because at some point the ground's going to be wet, like 2 foot deep, no matter where you are. In the south,
at Christmas, and it was mud-knee deep.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets muddy down, and then it dries like that. Look how dusty it is today with no rain for a week. Just 1 week, and it dries up. So.
Do you have another song you'd like to for us?
Would you like for me to?
Well, of course we would. Audience would love it. I know you would.
Would y'all love it?
Woo! And I do have to say that, and we want to thank Alicia and John so much. They allowed Lori and I to stay in the retro tour bus, and this has been great. We've had air conditioning.
It's the coolest thing.
It's awesome, and actually, I was talking to Cody, and he said, "Oh, I rode in this bus when it actually went somewhere."
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, they parked it for good, didn't they? It's parked for good.
Yeah, but it brought back so many memories. Yes. I said the only thing is, like, we didn't have the little coffin bumps like we used to have.
Like we still have.
I'd just like to remind everybody out there that I did beat John Snyder out for Entertainer of the Year.
You did.
Yes. We still have the trophy.
Yeah, it's on our dash, and we take it everywhere we go. And
do you want to tell people real quick before you sing too, how can they get your music or available for bookings, that kind of thing?
Well, just go to Keith Burns Music Facebook or Brian Burns, BRYN Burns Facebook. I don't do much of the web. My actual web page. I just don't.
So they can just message you.
Most people, yeah, and I'll get
stuff.
right back to them. You can see my schedule on there because it's more of a web page is just like boom, boom, boom. You get it. But a Facebook, it's every day. I'm on it every day. I watch everybody's comments every day. So it's more. I would just send you that. Yeah. It's more up to date by the minute, by the hour. You know. So.
Well, sing us a tune.
All right. What do you want to hear?
Trying Times is one of our favorites.
You like Trying Times?
I really do, because I think we're in trying times, and that song is a very uplifting.
I love this song. I really do. Of all the songs I've written, this is one of my favorites. It really is. And I wrote this one by myself, actually.
Can you tell the story? People have not heard the story that much about the letter. Remember from Norway?
Yeah.
Way back when. They haven't heard that.
No, your grandparents. It was your grandparents. Yeah, it was crazy. They had this letter that she wrote that they found, and they had all these walls, and the walls were sod. They papered them with newspaper, and they had little holes in the walls, right? And so it's crazy, but somebody, the sun or something.
Did a candle to see
a
through
candle. They did a candle to see through the hole and burnt the place down because
they were homesteading.
Yeah, they were home, and because the walls caught on fire, went up like that. And in this letter, though, they said they had to move away from their neighbors because they had long fingers, and we were like, long fingers. What's a long finger? Stole. They would come over and steal their stuff, so they moved. Yeah, they'd steal their cattle. So it's a legitimate letter. It's crazy to see a legitimate letter written from Boone. I could only imagine a letter written from like 1860. But this was from her grandmother's one.
And we found out why she had one eye. Her brother put the pitchfork through her eye.
no.
But she was homesteading by herself, and she would shoot anything that came with one eye.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where a lot of these songs come from, is real life stories, and that's what makes them so great.
Well, yeah, and so you get the idea from that, and then you kind of do your thing and write a mini movie. That's what you try to do, is write something in 3 minutes that's a whole movie. So these trying times ain't gonna get us down. We've been through all this before. They got learned by now. We got faith. Faith brings us peace of mind. Me and you will get through these trying times. Here's a letter that my grandma handed down. Them words of wisdom I will not forget. It was written from my grandpa, 1943. I put to memory every word he said. These trying times ain't gonna get us down. We've been through all this before. They got learned by now. Yeah, but we got faith. And faith brings us peace of mind. And me and you will get through these trying times. Yeah, baby. Now you wonder what this crazy world is coming to. How we're gonna make out in the end. Y'all, I've read a book. This ain't nothing new. It's all said and done. Good Lord wins. Them trying times ain't gonna get us down. We've been through all this before. They got learned by now. Yeah, but we got faith. Faith brings us peace of mind. Me and you will get through these trying times. Me and you will get through these trying times.
Thank you so much, Keith Burns and Bonnie Burns. And go to Keith Burns Music or Brian Burns
Yep.
on Facebook
Brian with a Y.
with a Y. Get these albums, order some albums, some t-shirts, and come out and hear his concert, see his events, and we're going to get with Bonnie on September for Bread of Life. They have been such a great support. Dear friends, we love you guys.
Love you guys.
And we want to thank you so much, and we will let you know this will air in about a week. Thank you once again, Bread of Life Ministry radio program, WBNL.